Okay, so get this. What if there's AI that can like practically read your mind?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Read my mind.
Not literally, of course,
Okay. Okay.
but like researchers have made these AI agents that can predict how you'd answer surveys
Hmm.
and even like how you'd react in psychology
Oh,
experiments.
wow.
Kind of freaky, right?
Yeah, it's like something out of science fiction,
Totally.
but also kind of fascinating, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're diving into today.
Right?
This cutting edge research where scientists created these AI, I think they call them generative agents,
Hmm.
based on real people.
Yeah, the paper we're looking at is actually called Generative Agent Simulations of 1,000 People.
Ooh, catchy title.
Yeah, right.
So I guess our mission today is to figure out how these things work,
Mm,
how accurate they are,
okay.
and what it all means, like for research, for
Right.
understanding people,
Yeah,
maybe even ourselves.
big questions.
So, how did they even make these AI agents?
Well, they started with real people, obviously.
Right.
Over 1,000 of them, actually.
Yeah.
And they had each person do like these super in-depth interviews.
Oh, okay. Like 2 hours long?
Yeah, 2 hours.
Wow. What did they talk about?
Everything. Like, childhood memories, family stuff,
Hmm.
thoughts on like current events, even personal experiences.
Okay, so like a total life history?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The idea was to get a really complete picture of each person, like their whole perspective.
That's wild. So they basically fed all this info to like some giant AI brain.
You got it. They used a large language model,
Okay.
similar to the tech behind ChatGPT, you know?
Ah, okay. So it's like that kind of AI.
Yep. And that's how they created a unique agent for each person.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And get this. The AI interviewer was actually pretty advanced itself.
Wait, the interviewer was AI too?
Yeah. I mean, it followed a script, but it could also like generate its own follow-up questions
Right.
based on what the person was saying. Just like, a human interviewer would.
Oh, so it could keep the conversation going naturally.
Exactly. And it gets even crazier.
Okay, lay it on me.
Even when they like removed 80% of what the person said in the interview.
80%.
Yeah. The AI could still predict the person's responses better than models based on like just basic demographics or
Hmm.
personality surveys.
That's incredible. So it's like picking up on something way deeper than like just surface stuff, right?
Right. It's almost like it's understanding like their personal narrative, the
Whoa.
way they see the world and connect ideas.
Makes you wonder, like, what about me? What parts of my life are easiest to predict?
Yeah. It's a good question. What do you think?
I don't even know. It's kind of creepy, but also super cool.
I know, right?
So, okay, now we've got these AI agents. How
Mm.
did they actually, like, test them out?
They wanted to see how well they could, predict how the real person would act
Yeah,
in different situations.
makes sense.
So they used a few different kinds of tests.
Okay, what kind?
First, there was the General Social Survey, the GSS.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it covers like tons of topics.
Politics, religion, all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they used the Big Five personality inventory.
Oh, right. That one measures like your personality traits.
Exactly, like how open you are, how conscientious.
Okay, I see.
And then finally, some classic behavioral economics games,
Ooh, games. Like what?
like the prisoner's dilemma.
Oh, yeah, I remember that from like Psych 101.
It's all about, seeing how people make decisions in these strategic situations.
Right, right. Okay, so they basically threw everything they could at these AI agents.
Pretty much. Wanted to see if they'd sink or swim.
So did they swim?
You could say that. The results were, they were pretty impressive, actually.
Hit me with the results.
So on that general social survey, the AI agents predicted the real person's answers
Hmm.
with 85% accuracy.
85%. That's really high.
I know, right? Especially considering, like, people change their minds all the time.
That's true. You're not the same person you were a week ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even matching that is, like, crazy good.
Okay, that's 1 point for the AI agents.
Definitely. And remember, that was just one test. They did pretty well on the personality one,
Oh,
too.
yeah, the big five. Right.
Yeah, 80% accuracy.
Not as high, but still really impressive.
Definitely. It shows these agents are picking up on something, like, fundamental.
Okay, so what about those economics games? How'd they do with those?
Well, even there, they managed to predict the person's choices with 66% accuracy.
66%. I guess that's not bad considering how tricky those games can be.
Right. It shows they're not just memorizing info, they're learning how to think like the people they're based on.
Okay, so these AI agents can predict our opinions, our personalities. even our decisions.
Pretty much.
But there's more, right? They didn't stop there.
You're right. They wanted to see how the AI would do with something even more complex.
Ooh, okay, tell me more.
They had the real people do 5 classic psychology experiments.
No way.
And then they had the AI agents do them too, like, virtually.
Right.
And get this, the agents actually predicted how the real people would behave.
No way.
Yeah, in 4 out of 5 of these experiments.
Hold on, you're telling me these AI agents can predict not just what we say,
Mhm.
but like how we'd act in real life situations.
Yeah, pretty wild, right?
That is incredible. Like, how is that even possible?
I know, right? It seems like they're tapping into this deeper level of, like, understanding, like a person's values, their decision-making, even their social interactions.
Oh, so it's not just about copying our answers, it's about getting like the whole picture of who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Picking up on those underlying patterns in our behavior.
This is seriously mind-blowing. Like, if an AI can learn to be me just from a few hours of talking,
Right.
what does that say about like how predictable I am?
It's a great question, right?
Yeah.
It really makes you think about what shapes us, you know?
Yeah, totally. Like, what about you? What do you think an AI would have the hardest time predicting about you?
Mm, that's a tough one. I'm not even sure. What about you?
I mean, I feel like I can be pretty spontaneous sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
But maybe that's predictable too. I don't know.
Right. Maybe it's all part of the pattern.
Okay, so we've established that this is both amazing and kind of terrifying.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But like, bigger picture, this could change how we study human behavior, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Imagine you're a researcher
Mm-hmm.
studying how people form connections, build relationships.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead of just watching people in the real world or using surveys,
Right.
you could use these AI agents to, like, create a whole simulated social network.
Whoa, hold on. So like a digital world where these AI people are interacting.
Exactly. You can introduce different scenarios
Okay.
and observe how the AI agents, based on real people, like, interact, form bonds.
So it's like a, what, like a digital petri dish?
Yeah, kind of, for
Sorta.
studying human behavior.
That's incredible. What other applications could this have?
Oh, tons. Like marketing, advertising. Instead of relying on, just basic demographics or assumptions,
Right.
you could use AI agents to actually personalize campaigns,
Mm.
targeting people based on their values, their preferences.
Wow. Okay, that is a game changer.
Right. And on a more individual level,
Mm-hmm.
think about education. Like, imagine having an AI agent for each student.
Oh, wow.
That helps tailor their learning experience.
Yeah.
Based on their strengths, their weaknesses.
Like a personalized tutor.
Exactly. You could revolutionize learning.
Okay, I'm officially both super excited and totally freaked out by this.
I get it.
This tech is incredible, but it also raises some like serious questions.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
And like any tool, it has the potential for good, but also, misuse.
Yeah. I mean, haven't we seen enough sci-fi movies where AI turns against us?
Right. But I think it's important to remember AI itself isn't good or bad.
Okay.
It's how we use it. Right?
Yeah. So it's about understanding it.
Exactly. And making sure it's developed responsibly.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about all this amazing potential,
Mm-hmm.
but are there things these AI agents can't do? What are their like limitations?
That's a great question. I mean, it's important to remember these agents are based on a snapshot of a person
Okay.
at a certain point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But people change. They grow, they learn, they have new experiences.
Right.
And these agents, at least in their current form, they don't really have that ability
Okay, so
to, like, learn and adapt in real time.
so it's like a frozen version of ourselves.
Yeah, in a way. And while they're great at predicting based on what they know,
Mm-hmm.
they can't predict how someone would react to a situation they've never encountered before.
Because people are always changing, growing.
Exactly.
So what happens if someone like has a major life change?
Mhm.
Say they move, start a new job, get married, whatever.
Yeah.
Would they need to make a whole new AI agent?
That's a great question. And honestly, we don't really know yet.
Oh, okay.
That's like an area for future research. Like, could you update an agent?
Hmm.
Potentially,
Hmm.
but it's tricky. Like, how do you make sure those updates really reflect the person?
Right, because who are we really? It's
Yeah.
like that question, but with added AI weirdness.
Exactly. It's complex.
So where are we going with all this? Like, practically speaking,
Yeah.
where could we see this tech being used in the near future? What's next?
I think one area we'll see a big impact is in data collection.
Mhm.
like market research.
Oh, okay.
Think about it. Right now, we rely on surveys, focus groups,
Mhm.
online tracking to learn about consumer behavior.
Okay, yeah.
But those methods have
Oh,
problems.
definitely. Like, people lie on surveys.
Yes.
Focus groups get all weird.
Totally.
And online tracking. Hello, privacy issues.
Exactly. None of it's perfect.
Right, and that's where AI agents come in.
That's where it gets interesting. Imagine using them as like digital stand-ins.
Stand-ins.
Yeah. For ourselves. Yep. In market research.
Okay, so instead of me spending hours filling out surveys about what kind of coffee I like or what
Mhm.
shows I'm binging,
Yep.
my AI agent does it for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because it's trained on your actual preferences,
Right.
it can give much more accurate data.
Okay, that's actually really smart.
It helps the companies and it respects our privacy.
That would save so much time and hassle.
Yeah.
But would you really trust an AI to represent you?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah, would it get it right?
It's definitely something researchers are still figuring out.
Okay.
Refining the agents, making sure they truly reflect, all the complexity of human behavior.
It's like we're in an episode of Black Mirror, but in real life.
There are definitely some parallels there.
It's kind of scary, but also super exciting.
Definitely. And unlike in a dystopian story, we can actually shape how this technology develops.
And that's what I love about this show. We're not just here to report on the tech, we're here to help our listeners, really understand it.
Exactly.
Make sense of it all.
Because the more we understand AI, the better we can navigate like this crazy future.
Right. It's all about being informed.
Okay, so we've talked about all the benefits, the potential downsides,
Yeah.
what this could mean for like research and marketing.
Yeah.
But like brass tacks, what does this mean for the average person? Like, should I be prepping for a world where like I have my own AI mini-me running around?
I think the idea isn't so much about replacing us,
Okay.
but more about augmenting our capabilities.
Augmenting.
Yeah. Like imagine an AI assistant that could help you make decisions, manage your time,
Hmm.
even like navigate tricky social situations.
Oh, okay. So like my own personal coach.
Yeah, kind of. Always there to give you insights, support.
Hmm. That sounds both amazing and a little overwhelming.
Mm.
Like, do I want an AI telling me what to do all the time?
It's about finding that balance, right? You'd have control over how much autonomy you give it. It's about empowering yourself, not losing control. Okay, that makes me feel better. But what about misuse? Like, what's to stop someone from using this tech for, like, bad stuff?
It's like any tool, right? It can be used for good or for bad.
Right.
That's why it's so important to have these conversations to make sure AI is developed responsibly.
With, like, safeguards and stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to prevent harm.
Okay, so once again, it all comes back to understanding this tech.
Right. And being involved in shaping its future.
Like, how can we do that?
Well, we need to talk about it, engage in discussions about policy, regulation, the values we want AI to reflect.
It's like we're at a fork in the road, right?
Yeah.
We can either just let AI happen to us, or we can help shape what it becomes.
And I think we have a responsibility to choose the latter.
So what's the next step for our listeners who want to, like, stay ahead of the curve on all this AI stuff?
Honestly, stay curious,
Mm.
read about AI, explore different perspectives.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to challenge your assumptions. This field is constantly changing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So be a lifelong learner.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Absolutely. The more we talk about it, the better prepared we'll be.
Well said. Well, I think this deep dive has given our listeners a lot to think about. This AI stuff is complex, it's changing fast,
Yeah.
but it's also full of possibilities.
It really is.
So stay curious, stay engaged, and let's navigate this future together. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Thanks for having me. So they had the real people participate in these, these classic psychology experiments,
Okay.
testing things like, how people react to like perceived harm
Mm-hmm.
or how fairness influences our emotions.
Okay, yeah. I remember those experiments from college.
Right. And get this,
Mhm.
the AI agents, they actually predicted how the real people would act
No way!
Yeah.
Seriously?
in 4 out of the 5 experiments.
Hold on. So you're saying these AI agents can predict not just what we say, but how we'd actually act?
Yeah. Pretty wild, right?
That's insane. Like, how is that even possible?
It really is remarkable. It seems like, these agents are picking up on, I don't know, like a deeper level of understanding
Yeah.
about a person's values,
Mm-hmm.
their decision making, how they approach like social interactions.
So it's not just about, like, copying our answers. It's about getting the whole picture.
Exactly. Capturing those underlying patterns in our behavior.
Okay. My mind is officially blown. If an AI can learn to be me from like just a few hours of talking,
Right.
what does that even say about me? Like, am I that predictable?
That's a great question. It really makes you think about, what shapes us, who we are.
Totally. Like, what about you? What do you think an AI would have the hardest time predicting about you?
Hmm. That's a tough one.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like I could be pretty spontaneous sometimes. What about you?
Yeah, same here. But maybe that's predictable too. Who knows?
Uh-huh. Right. Maybe it's all part of the pattern. Okay, so we've established that this is both amazing and kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
But like bigger picture, this could totally change how we study human behavior, right? Absolutely. Imagine you're a researcher
Hmm.
studying, say, how people form connections, build relationships,
Okay. Yeah.
instead of just like observing people in the real world or using surveys.
Right.
You could use these AI agents to create like a whole simulated social network.
Whoa, hold on. Like a digital world where these AI people are interacting.
Exactly. You could introduce different scenarios
Okay.
and see how the AI agents, based on real people, you know, interact, form bonds.
So it's like a digital petri dish for studying human behavior?
Yeah, kind of.
That's incredible. What other applications could this have?
Oh, tons. Like marketing and advertising.
Oh, yeah?
Instead of just relying on demographics or assumptions,
Right.
you could use AI agents to personalize campaigns,
Yeah.
target people based on, their values, their preferences.
Okay, that's a game changer. So, like, no more annoying ads that have nothing to do with me.
Potentially. It's all about reaching the right people with the right message.
I like the sound of that. And what about, like, on a more individual level?
Well, think about education. Imagine like every student has an AI agent
Oh, wow.
that helps, tailor their learning experience
Yeah.
based on their strengths, their weaknesses.
So it's like a personalized tutor for every student.
Exactly. It could totally revolutionize how we learn.
Okay, I'm both excited and a little freaked out by all of this. It's incredible tech, but it also raises some, like, big questions.
Totally. It's powerful stuff.
I mean, haven't we all seen those sci-fi movies where AI turns against us?
Right. But I think it's important to remember AI itself isn't inherently good or bad.
Okay, right.
It's how we use it.
So it's about understanding it.
Exactly. And making sure it's developed responsibly.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about all this amazing potential,
Hmm.
but are there things these AI agents can't do? Like, what are their limitations?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's important to remember these agents are based on like a snapshot of a person
Okay.
at a particular moment in time.
Yeah.
But people change, they grow, they learn, they have new experiences.
Yeah, that for sure.
And the agents, at least as they exist now, they don't really have that ability.
To like change with us.
Yeah, to adapt in real time.
So it's like a frozen version of ourselves?
Kinda, yeah. And while they're really good at predicting based on what they know,
Mm-hmm.
they can't predict how someone will react to something totally new.
Right, because we're always changing, growing as people.
Exactly.
So what happens if someone like has a major life change?
Mhm.
Say they move, get a new job, get married, whatever.
Yeah.
Do they need to make a whole new AI agent?
Honestly, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
It's like an area for future research.
Mm-hmm.
Could you update an agent?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but it's tricky. Like, how do you make sure those updates actually reflect the person?
Yeah. It gets back to that question of like, who are we really, but with AI added to the mix?
Totally, it's super complex.
So practically speaking, where do we go from here? Where could we see this tech being used soon?
I think one area we'll see a big impact is data collection, like market research.
Oh, okay.
Right now, we use surveys, focus groups, online tracking to learn about consumers.
Yeah.
But those methods have problems.
Yeah, for sure. Like people lie on surveys.
Yeah.
Focus groups get all weird.
Totally.
And online tracking. Hello, privacy issues.
Exactly. None of them are perfect.
Okay, and that's where these AI agents could be helpful.
That's where it gets interesting. Imagine using them as like digital stand-ins for ourselves.
Stand-ins.
Yeah, in market research.
Okay, so instead of me spending hours on surveys about like what kind of coffee I like
Hmm.
or what shows I'm binging,
Exactly.
my AI agent just does it for me.
It's precisely.
Yeah.
And because it's trained on your actual preferences,
Right.
it can give much more accurate data.
Okay, that's actually really smart.
It helps the companies get better information, and it protects our privacy.
Wow, that would save so much time and hassle. But like, would you trust an AI to represent you?
That's a big question, right?
Yeah. Would it really get you?
It's definitely something researchers are working on,
Okay.
like how to refine these agents so they truly reflect, all the complexity of people.
It's like we're living in an episode of Black Mirror,
I know, right?
but in real life.
Yeah, exactly. And unlike in some dystopian future, we actually have the chance to shape how this all unfolds.
Right. And that's what I love about this show. We're not just talking about the tech, we're helping people understand it.
Absolutely. Making sense of it all.
So the more we know about AI, the better equipped we'll be for the future.
Exactly. It's about being informed and proactive.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits, the potential downsides, what this could mean for research, marketing.
Mm,
But getting down to it, what does this mean for the average person?
yeah.
Like, should we be preparing for a world where we all have these AI mini me's running around?
Yeah.
Should we be prepping for a world where we all have AI mini me's running around?
I think it's not really about replacing us, but more about like augmenting what we can do.
Augmenting.
Yeah. Like imagine, an AI assistant
Okay.
that can help you make decisions,
Mm.
manage your time,
Okay.
even like navigate those really tricky social situations.
Oh, so like a personal coach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. Always there to, give you insights, offer support.
That sounds kind of amazing, but also a little, I don't know,
Over
overwhelming.
overwhelming how?
Like, do I really want an AI telling me what to do all the time?
It's about finding the balance.
Right.
You'd still be in control.
Okay.
You choose how much autonomy you give it.
So it's more like a tool.
Exactly. It's about using AI to empower yourself,
Yeah.
not to like give up control.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better. Good.
But what about, people using this for bad stuff?
I mean, any tool can be used for good or bad, right?
That's true.
That's why these conversations are so important.
Mm-hmm.
We need to make sure AI is developed responsibly.
So like with safeguards and stuff?
Yeah, to prevent harm. Okay, so again, it comes back to understanding AI
Absolutely.
and being a part of shaping how it all evolved.
Exactly. We need to be involved.
So how do we do that?
We need to talk about it. We need to engage in those discussions about policy, regulations, the values we want AI to reflect.
It's like we're at this fork in the road.
Yeah.
We can just let AI happen to us,
Mm-hmm.
or we can be a part of shaping what it becomes
Like we have a responsibility to do that. Yeah,
to make sure it's a good thing.
exactly.
Okay, so for our listeners who are like, whoa, this is crazy, I want to learn more,
Yeah.
what's the next step? How do we stay ahead of the curve with all this AI stuff?
Just stay curious, read about AI, explore different perspectives,
Mhm.
challenge your own assumptions.
Because this field is changing so fast.
It is constantly evolving. So be a lifelong learner.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Never. The more we talk about it, the better prepared we'll be.
Well said. Well, I think this deep dive has given our listeners a lot to chew on.
A lot to process.
This AI stuff is complex, it's changing fast, but it's also, full of possibility.
I think that's the exciting part.
It is exciting. So stay curious, stay engaged, and let's navigate this future together.
Totally.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.